Hey everyone, all right, so we finished Ender's Game and now I have a creative project for you. There's going to be two parts to it. One that is going to be required for everyone to do, and I'll be giving time to do it. So you have time, don't worry about it. The second part is going to be optional. That one is going to be for extra credit for those who wish to do it. And so if you're confused, if you're uncertain, talk to me. That way you're not doing stuff you don't have to do if you don't want, like if you have other stuff you need to be doing instead. But again, talk to me if you have questions. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what is coming up. Just also a heads up that I'm going to have it where June 5th is going to be the last day that I post lessons with assignments and everything like that, because I want you to have a chance to get caught up in that second week of June. So in the second week of June, June 8th to 12th, I want you to have a chance to be able to get everything done. And during that week, that is when you have the chance to also do like the extra credit assignments, but that's not required. It's just something you can do to bump up your marks. So hopefully that will make sense. Let's take a look at what you're going to do here. So we have our creative project. Now this part here is just kind of giving you just the background as far as why we're doing this project and what you get a chance to do. You're going to get a chance to create your own science fiction world, which is pretty cool. Keeping in mind, I'm not expecting you to be writing a short story. I am not expecting you to be writing a book. I am not expecting you to be doing anything along those lines. You're just doing planning as if you're going to be writing the next awesome science fiction book or the next awesome science fiction movie or something like that. So you're not required to be actually doing a ton of writing when it comes to creating a book or a short story or anything like that. You're just simply doing the planning stages as if you're about to. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, here's what we're doing. You get a chance to be able to plan the background, just like I was saying, for a science fiction story. And that story, it needs to address at least one major theme. I'll get to that in a moment as far as themes go, but you need to figure out a theme, you need to figure out main characters, setting, conflict, plot line, all of that. And I will get into that as we go on. So don't worry about it if it's not all making sense right now. Now, this part right here, so the creative project, this part that I've highlighted is optional. This is going to be the extra credit assignment. All right. So the actual creative project that is going to show the world that you create, like the science fiction world that you created, that part is optional. All right. So whether it's the short story, a comic, a model, like a diorama, that type of idea, a video, art project, whatever it might be, this part right here is optional. All right. So I hope you're not getting stressed out when you're seeing this. This part, you choose whether or not you're going to do it. But if you do it, I need to be able to give you the okay for what you're going to do before you do it, because the worst thing is if you end up doing all this work and you end up doing something that was completely not even an option. All right. So just keeping in mind, if you wish to do the extra credit assignment, talk to me. Let me know what you're planning on doing. That way I can give you the okay. Now, everything else though is expected. So this part here, you will be doing. I will explain as we get to it. So this part that I have here, just ignore it. Ignore right now, keeping in mind that we'll get to it when it later on, like in June, we'll have a lesson that talks about this. But for right now, just keep in mind it's coming. All right. And I will have it where this Google Doc needs to be completed by Friday, June 5th. So my expectation is that you would make a copy of it, put your name on it, and then you're going to just keep working through it. You don't need to send me anything right away, but you need to have it where you keep working through it and make sure you're getting all caught up. And then at the end of this, you will send me your finished Google Doc, and that will be your final check there. So these are how you're going to get your marks for this assignment. You're going to get marks for each step. You're going to get marks for the theme that you have in there. You're going to get marks for your proposal, which means like your proposal for your creative project. Again, I will talk about this later, but not today. So please don't freak out if you don't understand what all that means regarding the proposal or anything like that. That's okay. It's coming. Just wait. And then the other thing that I'll be looking at are your work habits and your effort. So that basically means, did you have it where you completed everything? Did you put good details? Were you thorough in explaining things? Did it make sense? Were you on time with everything? That's going to go towards your work habits and your effort. All right, so it'll be out of 50 altogether. Now let's take a look at your homework assignment for today. What you're going to do is you're going to be answering the following questions. You're going to have it where you're going to first of all tell me, what is a science fiction story? You are welcome to do some research on the internet if you need to. You can Google it. You can have it where you just say, what is a science fiction story? Google that question, see what they come up with. I'm okay with that. And then also, what are the characteristics of science fiction? So take a look over here. I had it where that's what I did. I just wanted to show you what came up. And so I Googled characteristics of science fiction, and we see a bunch of different things here. So you are allowed to copy and paste that. So we have things like time travel, teleportation, mind control, aliens, space travel, interplanetary warfare, parallel universes, fictional worlds. So like a fictional world, that would be a world that does not exist. Like I don't know if anyone has even seen or heard of the movie Avatar that came out a while ago actually. And with that movie, they created their own world for that. And so that would be, well, even Ender's Game, they have new worlds as far as they obviously have Earth, but they also have other planets that they're exploring in that book. And so there are fictional worlds within Ender's Game. And so what you'll do is you're going to write down those different characteristics you're allowed to do. You are allowed to copy and paste. And then from this list, tell me which ones that Orson used in his book, Ender's Game. All right. And then what I want you to do is just tell me, are there any other science fiction works that you've watched or read? Like, are there other books that you've read? I'm not sure if anyone's watched Stranger Things on Netflix. No, some people have. That would be something that would be more science fiction. You can also be taking a look at things like, if you even watched the movie of Ender's Game, if you watched that movie, that is science fiction. Or again, like Avatar and ones like that, those are works of science fiction. So you could have it where you write that down here if you've watched any of that, or even things like Star Trek or things like that. Now then you're going to have it where you take a look at the themes. What are some of the themes that you found in Ender's Game? What are the big ideas, the big lessons that Orson wanted you to learn about humanity? All right. And again, you are allowed to do some Googling. Don't feel like you are not allowed to. I want you to think about it, but I also want you to maybe do some Googling as well. Do some research and really get a good feel for what are some of the themes that you would find in Ender's Game. Now we're coming to question 6 here. So you're going to think about the story that you are planning to write. And again, hear me out. You're not actually writing the story. That's not what is required. You're just doing the planning stages. And so you're pretending you're going to write a story. So that story that you're going to be preparing to write, well, what are some lessons that you would want your readers to be able to come away with after reading your story? Also, what do you want them to think critically about? And what I mean by that is, let's say if you wanted to talk about, let's say, like I know for me, this is something I'm passionate about when it comes to gender equality and both men and women having equal rights and being treated fairly. And so with that being the case, I can maybe have it where I create a story that explores the differences in equality between men and women, and I could have it where that would be something that I would want them to think critically about. Or perhaps you would want something else. Maybe you want something like homelessness or crime or the war on drugs or elections or politics, the way minorities are treated, injustice, refugees. There's so many different things. You could even have it where you perhaps think about what's happening right now with COVID-19 and just explore the ways that people, like different countries, respond to a crisis, and really trying to bring awareness to how should we respond to a crisis and things along those lines. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of what you could explore in your own story. And you're going to tell me that here. Tell me what you want to be able to explore in your story. And then what I also want you to take a look at is, what are the themes that you're interested in? All right, so what are some big themes? So these are all getting into themes here as far as the way minorities are treated, or equal rights between men and women. Um, it could be to do with like homelessness, and that there should be, we should be taking care of them, or things along those lines. Actually, you can even have it where you look up and just have it where you say common themes, oopsies, common themes in science fiction. Look that up, see what they come up with here. And have it where maybe looking at the end of humanity, what could happen if we don't do something. You could also look at maybe different fears that we have. So have it where you're going to just explore what are some different themes that you would have in your story. And I want you to then highlight, I want you to come up with 3, and then I want you to highlight which one that you're going to go with. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I think that's going to be enough for today. Definitely go through this, make sure that you're thorough, make sure that you're giving your best, and really work, like, yeah, give me good details in this. And you do not need to send it to me. I'm only expecting you to finish up to here. So this is the last question that you need to answer for today. This is the last question. You will be taking on the rest with your other lessons, but this is just like science, where I give you the big Google Doc and then I only expect you to do sections of it. So this is the last part that you're going to be finishing. So everything up to step 1, all right? Because step 1 happens down here. Do everything up to that point. And make sure it's all filled in. And then what will happen is on June 5th, that's when I'll be asking you to share your completed Google Doc with me. But for right now, you're good. Just focus on filling this in. All right, let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you have fun. Have fun creating your own world. And I'm excited to see what you come up with, because I find that, again, science fiction can be so useful to be able to provide awareness of different things, different needs around the world. And so this is a cool opportunity, and I want to see what you come up with. I'm excited for this. So keeping in mind, the creative project, as far as actually writing a story or anything like that, not required. But the planning is required. So let me know if you have any questions. All right, have fun with it. See you.